Today I'm painting Shanks from Tengu Studios, and this studio is a little bit different, so stick around to find out more about them later in this video. This is Groundeffected, my name is your dad, and I've already told you what I'm doing. In my last video, I printed the model a little bit smaller. It was actually technically 60% smaller than normal, and that means it made it 1/10 scale. I took a risk printing this guy 1/10 scale, but I want to take this one home because this one is close to my heart, because I'm absolutely obsessed with the pieces of one at this present time in the moment. So I need to make him small, otherwise he won't fit in my tiny English house. Now, of course, there are some magical effects, which are not magic, by the way. It's hockey. That's the correct terminology for this stuff. And these things need to be printed in clear. I printed this in transparent resin from Uniformation. And the reason why I did that is because I have that currently sitting in my Uniformation GK3 Pro. And it means I can just set it up and print it. Happy days. Now, of course, the rest of the things that aren't clear, I painted them with a primer, because they don't need to be clear. But the clear bits, I put their respective colors on them, like purple and red. Now, one part that I didn't print in my Uniformation with Uniformation resin is the base section of water. This I printed on my Hay Gears machine, and I used the Hay Gears clear resin. After that epically sick, super cool, awesome, mega montage of drying parts, I can't believe we'll just watch paint dry. Either way, it's now time to start putting a zenithal on everything that's going to have colors, or at least some form of color. Now, one of the things that don't really need too much color is the smoke that's on this base. So I did a zenithal on them first, and after that, because that zenithal looks terrible as smoke, you can't just have it on its own, so I decided to use a wraithbone paint over the top of it to give it like a creamish kind of color, so it wasn't just pure white. Now, when it came to those clear bits that I painted earlier, I was not quite happy with using red ink for them, so I decided to use some Tamir red over the top of them, and then that just made them a little bit more redder and less pinkish looking. And then I put a gloss clear over all of the hockey bits, and also whatever the stuff that's coming out of Mr. Kid's freaking gat that, of course, old Shanks is sitting upon, which is underneath his backside. But we'll get to the gat in a little bit. For now, let's just kind of deal with some of the base bits. I am going to put a skull color, which is just skeleton horde, over the top of the skull that's on the base, and then I'm going to use this dark green, very dark green, to spray a highlight on the black flag, which is actually Captain Kidd's flag that is hanging in the back. This is a very significant, it's not that significant, but it's something that happens in the anime and the manga, and Shanks is pretty badass for what he does here. Some people argue about, they don't like the whole situation, but we're not here to discuss that situation. I just want to make note that you saw that I sprayed a chrome over the top of the gat. This is a gat. It's actually Kid's arm. It's his left arm, and it is kind of ironic because Shanks also only has one arm and his left arm's also missing. Doesn't matter, we're getting too involved in the wrong things here, but basically that's what Shanks is sitting on. I used a woodish kind of color to spray over all the wood after I had put the zenithal on, and then I put obviously transparent over the base as well. Those pieces of gat that is on the base, I don't want them to be just pure silver. I need to give them some kind of atmospheric coloring, so I sprayed Gryph-Charger Grey from the shadowed areas. Everything underneath got a Gryph-Charger Grey spray. Now, getting back onto the planks of wood that are on the base, I'm going to dry brush these with a light woodish kind of color. Now, while I'm doing this, I do want to quickly talk about the sponsor of this video. This is Tengu, and this is different to the normal things. Basically, Tengu is a Discord server that prioritizes quality over quantity as well as exclusivity. We're all very used to being advertised or seeing Patreons that create models every month. Now, with Tengu it's different. They don't do it like that. You kind of got to think of it like a private commission with a small group of friends, basically. They work with modelers who work for big mass production figure companies, and they don't rush in order to get their models out. So basically, none of this is timed. It's not a monthly release or anything like that. Every design only has a limited number of slots to be able to join in as well. Basically, this keeps the community really tight. This means that there are very limited number of these models being made in the world, and that, I guess that's cool for exclusivity, of course, and people who collect things sometimes want their things to be the only things that ever existed. So this is one of those things. Now, I do want to mention that Tengu is having a contest. It's a painting competition, and there is an entry fee for this, but equally, to be able to be part of the Tengu Discord, they normally require a $50 entry. They hold that basically to prove that you're one of the good guys, but for a limited time they're waiving that entry because of the contest. The contest entry is at $10, and that goes straight into the prize pool and gets you access to the Discord server, where you will meet like-minded 3D printing and painting nerds, so you can show off your own skills and see what other people are up to. Also contributing to that prize pool, by the way, are brands like Gallery and Gyo Resin. So there is loads of stuff available. I'm going to leave a link for all of this stuff down below, and hopefully I'll put one popping up on the screen so you can go and check them all out, and obviously go and show them what I've taught you, unless you taught yourself, in which case go show them what you taught yourself. Thank you, Tengu, for sponsoring this video, and let's get back to the regular old talking about the painting stuff, because I haven't told you anything about what I'm doing, but I'm pretty sure you could have figured out what I was doing during all of that wiffle waffle. Basically, there is a load of stuff on the base, and the stuff that's on the base is Eustace Kid's arm. It's a huge gun, which is ridiculous, but that's what I love about anime, and specifically One Piece in general. Everything is just so ridiculous, and it's one of the coolest things. But this dude lost an arm. I actually think that Shanks took his arm first. I don't actually remember now. I think Shanks took his arm, and then after his arm got lost, he got himself a new arm, which is this freaking massive gat, and he can punch you and shoot you with this arm. It's pretty crazy, really. He does a whole load of stuff to Kaido with this thing. It's really cool, but either way, something happened, and Shanks ended up coming back, and Kid threatened Shanks' crew, and Shanks just one-shot this dude. Like, literally, Shanks is one of the most badass characters in the whole of the anime. It doesn't show too much, but the little bits that it shows of him, you just know this dude is going to be so big when it comes to the end. And annoyingly, if you know anything about One Piece, Shanks is the guy that Luffy looks up to, and I don't know if I can handle seeing Shanks and Luffy. Eventually they're going to have to fight each other. It's inevitable. Basically, it's the Thanos of One Piece. Shanks and Luffy versus each other. It's coming. But again, I'm getting very, very distracted, and I'm not telling you what's going on. But a lot of this stuff is really simple. When it comes to painting something that's like anime, I don't actually go balls to the wall like I do with everything else, where I put a load of shades and a load of highlights and dry brushing and all these weird techniques and stuff. It's pretty simple with subtle shading and no main highlight, really, because I don't want it to look like this fully rendered kind of realistic but semi-realistic but cartoony. Yeah, I don't really know how to explain it, but I feel like anime style painting for statues, the heavy weight on them is actually all the effects and stuff that's on the base, so you really don't necessarily have to go overboard with it. Although thinking about it, maybe it would be quite cool to push one like that in the future, but I didn't do that with this one, so at some point maybe in the future I will. Now, one of the difficult parts of this model, not too difficult, is this dude's pants. That's because it has, obviously, this pattern that's on it. We'll get to the pattern in a second, but for now, I'm just going to paint it red. After painting red, I figured it was not red enough, so I put more red on top of that red, and then I put some dark red on the bottom of that. You remember the flag? I treated this guy's friggin' coat exactly the same as I did the flag, because I did. That's what I did. His skin tones, however, I treated a little bit differently to what I normally do, and I put down a red undertone first, And then while that undertone was drying, I quickly smashed out Shanks's bangs, which he has these really cool bangs that were cut of the model. And because I made mine really small, it's actually one-piece bangs, but mine snapped in half because I made it way too small. I'm actually surprised, like genuinely, I made this thing so tiny that I don't even know how it came out of the printer. A lot of things were very close to breaking, and in fact I did break couple of things actually, and then I just glued them back together, and you'll never know that I broke them. But anyway, for the skin tones, I literally painted a light skin over the top of everything. I then put some orcish dermis into the shadows to bring some of that pinkness back into the skin. Then I put the exact same light skin tone that I put before over the top, very thin, so that it was just giving some highlights to the skin. And then I used a slightly lighter skin tone to give it just a bit more highlights, and that's it. I'm not going to go overboard with this again, because I feel like since it's an anime, most of an anime, it doesn't even have much shading. It's something that needs to be animated, and it would take them hours if they fully rendered every single character and then animated them as well. So I think that's probably part of the reason why I feel like it looks better to just paint them slightly more simpler. It's a little bit truer to the roots of the actual anime itself, but here we are. Anyway, I then painted his hair. He is called Redhead Shanks for a reason. That's because he has, you guessed it, red hair, which I just painted red over the top of his hair. Now getting to the pants, this is where I had to deal with some of the regrets of making this model very small. This is because I now need to do essentially freehanding, but luckily the sculpt has got all the detailing raised more than enough. If it wasn't raised enough when I made this model smaller, I wouldn't have been able to follow those raised pieces. Basically it's orange in the center and then green around the outside of all the florally stuff. I won't bore you with doing all of them. I'll just show you how I did one, and I move on to painting the awesome flip-flops that this dude will kick your ass in. Imagine having your ass kicked to pieces by a guy wearing freaking sandals. To be fair though, he doesn't really kick. I mean, in fact, I don't think I've seen him kick. He uses his sword, and the reality is, if any of us normies had to meet this guy in real life, we would pass out just from the sheer presence of him. That's called Conqueror's Haki, by the way. That is some super nerd stuff for you, but if you know about this stuff, then you already know the absolute power that Shanks really is. He is genuinely, every time he goes on a boat, everybody has to tell him, bro, you need to calm down with your haki, yeah, you're making everybody pass out. All the newbies come along and they're falling over all over the place. He's a badass. Speaking of badass, he has this massive scar over his face. There are these 3 lines that go over his eye, and for that I used a Blood Angels red and painted them on. Now, anime eyes are different to normal sculpt eyes, and specifically anime sculpts, they normally don't really sculpt any of the shape of the eye itself. It's roughly there, but not really. So in order to paint this dude's eyes, we're going to have to use a little bit of trickery. And also, he has a beard, so that also isn't really sculpted on these things. This is the kind of stuff that's painted on the surface. So for that, I use Cygor Brown and a very small brush and a couple little dots to kind of indicate his beard. And back to the eyes again, I painted the black over the whole entire area where the eye would be. And then I took this light, it's white but not white, it's kind of creamy, and if you really wanted a replacement for this color because it's hard to find, you could use ivory from Vallejo. It would give you a similar effect. But then I shaped out the actual shape of the eyes, and then I came back with a dark gray and painted the iris itself. After I'd painted dark gray, I used the same color of the eyes again to paint in the inside of that circle, which kind of simulates the whole iris, and then I put a pupil in the middle with a small black dot, and then I can now glue the bangs of Shank onto his head. It's basically Shanks and not Shank, and Shank is something that happens in a prison, and this guy's definitely not in a prison. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I touched up the hair because the hair was obviously not matching perfectly after I had sprayed one and painted the other with a brush. That will happen. And then I put his coat onto him, which I probably should have done after I did the buttons, but it's fine. I remembered that I needed to paint his buttons on his shirt, so I quickly painted the buttons on his shirt after I'd put his coat on. I will be honest, because I made it smaller, I made my life more difficult, that's for sure, because not only are the parts more fragile, but the eyes are smaller, all the little details are smaller. I really put myself in a bit of a situation with this, but I don't regret it, because I'm going to be able to take this guy home and put him on my shelf right next to my Luffy, and that's going to make me a very happy chappy. There is a flag hanging on this base. That's part of the whole scene that he's sitting in, because obviously it's from when it's Eustace Kid's freaking Jolly Roger, and it makes sense that it's all torn up because obviously Shanks just kicked his butt. But either way, I'm going to quickly paint this. I want you to quickly notice something though. I'm painting over the top of black, and I'm not doing multiple layers for this. I'm only going to do one layer, so I want you to notice the color choices that I made. Deck tan, best color to cover over black. It doesn't cover perfectly, but it does more than good enough of a job so you don't have to do too many layers. Also, for the yellow of the flag, I'm using ochre. Ochres are the best colors for covering as well. And then I'm using this blue violet, which has essentially got a white tint to it. In a way, I don't really know how to explain it, but blue violet as well is another color that will go over very well over the top of black. Not all colors will do this, and so I'm just wanting to make sure that you notice this. Flat red is another one of those colors where you can put it over the top of black and it will read as red. Of course, it's not going to be as bright as if you put it over white, but it works out just good enough for this kind of a flag. Now that the flag's done, I can put it on this model and I can play the most epic tune and call this model done. I realized that I got a little bit too excited about the one piece and didn't really explain too much about painting the model, but it doesn't really matter too much, I don't think. There are over 400 videos for you to watch of painting models, and hopefully you can pick out some tips and tricks from there, but I'm pretty sure you might have picked up something out of this video that you might use going forward in your next model. Basically, this is the end of the video. This is what Shanks looks like after he is done, and I am very happy with my model. Basically, it looks really cool. I'm really glad to have this dude, and I hope that whilst you're on the toilet, this was good enough of entertainment. I don't know what to say. Words are getting hard. It's been a long week. This whole week has actually been it's been one of the worst weeks for me, just in terms of everything has gone wrong. So I'm kind of glad to put this week behind me, and I get to take home an epic model today. So that's it from me for this video and for this week. I shall see you next week. By the way, thank you very much everybody who watches my stuff. Also, very importantly, thank you to my Patreons. Their names are on the screen right now. If you want to support us over on Patreon, and by us I mean me in the studio and Frankie, then go check out our own Patreon. This is down below as well. We also produce a model every month, and we also put some behind the scenes stuff, some cheat cards, like color palettes, all the things that you might want for printing and painting and all that rest of the stuff. And hopefully this video did something for you. If not, well then that seems like I don't know what to do actually. And this is the part where I say the thing, and the thing is, if you didn't like anything you saw in this video, fuck off.